Former WoW Classic lead is now former WoW Classic lead. Brian Birmingham is no longer with Blizzard, and he shares his experiences of having worked at Blizzard and also corroborating something that just came out in a Bloomington article. After more than a year of radio silence, Warcraft 3 Reforged has received a patch. Blizzard's survey indicates a Blizzard Warcraft 3 Reforged soft relaunch possibility. Just a possibility. But how did we get so far to this point where Reforged was a disaster, now it's being worked on again, and where Blizzard's reputation over the years went from untouchably godlike and idolized for years, if not decades, to what it is now? How did Blizzard become Activision Blizzard King with the associated reputation? Let's read this Twitter thread. I wasn't intending to make this public, but apparently it's in the news already, so I'd like to at least set the record straight. I am no longer an employee of Blizzard Entertainment, though I would return if allowed to, so that I could fight the stack ranking policy from the inside. What is stack ranking? I'm told the forced stack ranking policy is a directive that came from the ABK level, above Mike Ibarra, who's the CEO of Blizzard. I don't know for sure, but I suspect it's true. Everybody at Blizzard I've spoken to about this, including my direct supervisors, expressed disappointment about this policy. Knight Sanctorum says, you rank your employees in a tier list, literally. Ooh. For those who don't know, ABK is now the parent company, which was formed back when Activision Publishing expressed their interest in buying World of Warcraft from Vivendi in 2008. Blizzard's market value was enough that Activision Publishing couldn't buy it outright. Instead, they arranged to form a new umbrella company, Activision Blizzard, which would own Activision Publishing and Vivendi's game division, including Blizzard Entertainment. Vivendi had 50% of the shares of Activision Blizzard at that time. In creating Activision Blizzard, they needed an executive, and Bobby Kotick from Activision Publishing was selected as the new CEO of Activision Blizzard. Mike Morhaime, still president of Blizzard at the time, reported up to Bobby Kotick's staff at Activision Blizzard. Bobby and an investor group staged a hostile takeover. So a hostile takeover, as far as I understand, is where, perhaps against the original intent, and without needing the consent of the subsidiaries, you buy up enough shares so that you have executive decision making, more than 51% shares, or 51% or more. And you don't actually beat them up and stuff, but it's because you get to make that decision without the consent of the subsidiaries, I believe. There's no actual violence in hostile takeovers, despite the name. I forget which year this happened, but it resulted in greater control of Activision Blizzard over the subsidiaries. Activision Blizzard then acquired King. King, you may know them from having made Candy Crush. It's like a decent mobile game, but with insane amounts of intentional psychological addiction devices and a lot of monetization. Activision Blizzard then acquired King, becoming Activision Blizzard King, or ABK. ABK was then a parent company of 3 different companies that they owned: Activision Publishing, Blizzard Entertainment, King. If I recall correctly, the first year we were asked to meet a specific quota of developing ratings. What are developing ratings? Is that where you need to make a profit for one game? This was in the 2020 evaluations. Across the winter of 2020 and 2021. So 2020, January 28th is when Reforged came out. And that's where it truly went, really, it went to excrement. Blizzard had made many unpopular decisions, but it wasn't until 2020, January 28th, with Reforged coming out, that they served something truly crap. Think of it as being the pink sauce of the gaming world. Whatever pink sauce is to nutrition, shipping dairy unrefrigerated, potentially making people sick and saying it's great, that was Reforged. If you haven't read about pink sauce, you can read about it. So it wasn't until then that they really brought out something bad, before it was ready. If I recall correctly, this was also the first year they tried to unify the review and appraisal systems across all 3 child business units. Man, they even have children working. Disgusting. No, it's the subsidiaries, of course. Activision, Blizzard and King. Activision, Blizzard and King all had a similar appraisal process by this point, and ABK wanted to unify them into one. Presumably, this was the motivation for enforcing a 5% developing rating to make it match in all 3 studios. We at Blizzard pushed back pretty hard in 2021, and I truly believed we had reversed the developing quota policy. When this lawsuit was revealed later that year, we saw some change following that as well, and it felt like we could make an impact on ABK policies. The realization that there's still a minimum quota for developing, despite our objections and sternly worded letters, leads me to believe that I was operating under an illusion. I hope Blizzard's positive culture can overcome ABK's poison, but it isn't succeeding in doing so yet. So having explained that, I bear no ill will towards my former colleagues at Blizzard Entertainment. The Blizzard I knew and always wanted to work for is being torn apart by the executives at ABK, and it makes me sad. I truly respect the developers I worked with at Blizzard. I will still play Blizzard games. The developers there are still amazing. All these WoW expansion and gameplay are amazing. But ABK is a problematic parent company. They put us under pressure to deliver both expansions early. It is deeply unjust to follow that by depriving employees who worked on them their fair share of profit. The ABK team should be ashamed of themselves. So there is a profit sharing, a revenue sharing system with employees, with developers of a game at Blizzard. I don't think every employee would have a profit sharing. Would there be? Maybe some higher ups. Maybe Brian Birmingham had some profit sharing, and then he either quit due to disagreement about policies, or he was let go because they didn't like him causing trouble, and then he lost out on profit sharing, which isn't fair because he worked on it so much. I don't know. I'm just speculating here, but I didn't know there is that kind of perk to jobs at for devs. I must stress this is my best recollection of events. It covers a lot of years. Human memory is notoriously imperfect. I do believe the broad strokes are accurate. The developing quota is toxic. It is an ABK policy. It's being forced on Blizzard developers' employees. I can't tell you whether to boycott Blizzard games or not. How best to express your displeasure is up to you. As I said before, I won't boycott, but I can't participate in a policy that lets ABK steal money from deserving employees, and I can't be made to lie about it either. So it's not clear to me from what he said which part is having ABK steal money from deserving employees. Now it looks like he is saying that ABK discontinued a profit sharing scheme with employees, and he doesn't like it. And he was also let go, or he quit because of it. And to wrap up, I want to again clarify that I was surprised to see this Bloomberg article below. I did not provide them the email they're quoting from, but I do believe the quotes are accurate. They haven't spoken to me, nor reached out to me in any way. Register to read more? I can read it like this. A manager at video game developer Blizzard Entertainment said he was ousted after refusing to give a low evaluation to an employee that he felt didn't deserve it in order to fill a quota. In 2021, Blizzard, a unit of Activision Blizzard Inc., implemented a process called stack ranking, in which employees are ranked on a bell curve and managers must give low ratings to certain percentage of staff. Oh, it's like what you said. The tier list. Even every salaried employee at Blizzard gets profit sharing. It's intended to counterbalance the known lower pay range at the company, but it was rebalanced after WoW launched to assume WoW level success every year, which obviously has never happened. You must rate some people as lowest grade, regardless of their actual performance. Right. You have to make a bell curve. If everyone is great, someone is the least great. They're still great, but they're the worst of the bunch. So they're at the bottom. Yeah, this is why streamers get in trouble when they make streamer tier lists about each other. Managers were expected to give a poor developer status to roughly 5% of employees on their teams, which would lower their profit sharing bonus money. Wait, is it getting more and more faded? I can still read it! And could hamper them from receiving raises or promotions in the near future. At the Irvine, California-based company known for games like Overwatch and World of... Oh, we can figure out the rest ourselves. Blizzard manager depart... Oh, so... He's not the one that departed in protest. Or at least, he's not admitting to it. It's someone else. But there could be multiples. Oh, I see, I see. Man, that's messed up. That is pretty messed up. I read he was terminated, says the Cinnabon. Someone else said he is the manager in question. He was not the person. Yeah. He said he was not the person, so. Well. Very tough. This actually coincides with my experience working with Blizzard in the last 20 years. That they've slowly started changing. And because the people that I have contact with are less and less involved, less caring, less friendly, and then eventually less reachable and gone. And the Warcraft 3 Reforged development team seemed really passionate and friendly and involved. And then suddenly they were kind of shut down. So it feels like a upper management decision as well. So, interesting. We stay abreast of the news. That was it.